Welcome to another OCD Recovery Instagram Live. I was going to talk a little bit about some of the obstacles to recovery that happen. I was going to say the problem that happens is it can't not be told without a sort of a bit of a funny element to it. And that is that, let me give you an example. When people come in to learn how to recover from OCD, there is a reading list that is on this page, and it talks about what you need to do, like what books you need to read, of the 5-6 books that are on there. And what happens is that people get the reading list, and they usually start reading the first book, and then when they're halfway through, not even halfway through, when they've read maybe 20 pages, they think, God, this is a bit of a long book to read. This is a bit tiring to read this book. Wouldn't mind a bit of an easier path than this. Yeah, I'll have a look online, browse things. Oh, wow, there's a book here on Amazon that's got a really shiny front cover. It's written by some celebrity in America. Oh, and it talks about being fearless or something like that. I know what I'll do. I'll start reading that first because that sounds a bit more exciting. So they start reading that book. So they've just started reading the first book. It feels a bit difficult. So they've now left it, and now they've gone straight on to this new book that's not even on the reading list. So they then start reading that. Then I ask them, how did you do with the book on the reading list? And they say, I've completely not done it because I've read this other book. There were some interesting points. I say, was that book on the reading list? They say, no. They say, but I just saw it on Amazon. I thought it'd be a good read. That's the first problem. You've got to stick to a task. It's like you've got to stick to a plan. It's like why people, when they go to get in shape or they start a business, the biggest mistake that most people make always is that they go off on about 50 plans. Everyone's got 50 great ideas for a business or so many different workout plans they've read to get in shape. And they start all of these and they just go off on a complete tangent doing these all randomly, all on different angles. And that's why they get stuck. So in reality, you need to have a plan that you stick to. And if you stick to that plan, then you get better. But the problem is people don't stick to that plan. People go all off on tangents, and even if they read the first book, then what happens is they get onto a harder book, they leave it, or they do a couple of the books and then they get stuck, and so they just go in between the different books and don't really follow a plan, sort of sporadically reading a bit of each book, which becomes a real problem. So that is sort of one of the first hurdles that comes about. Next hurdles that come along is the not realizing that recovery is going to take a bit of time. You're not going to crack it suddenly, okay? So people think, I've done that exposure, now I'm going to be fully better. Or I've read that book, now I should be better. Or I've disputed those beliefs and got over that fear, why am I not better? And then this is what is keeping them stuck, is this bloody cycle that they're in, where they're just going around constantly, feeling a new feeling, getting stuck, and then thinking, shit, I'm stuck forever. I'm never going to get better. And then sort of giving up on everything, this sort of black or white thinking, which is, if it's not working, doesn't work. If that exposure's too hard, give up. If that book's too complicated, forget it. And that's basically what's happening. So people get really stuck with this. Another thing, which is one of the biggest hurdles, and let me really, really highlight this hurdle, because this hurdle is absolutely huge, and it is what so many people do. Comfort. Feeling nice and comfortable trying to recover. So reading books reading social media accounts like this one, nice and comfortably, in a nice, comfortable couch, reading the page, taking in little bits of information, or going to a therapy session, nice and comfortable talk. But they don't want to do hard work. They don't want to do exposures. They don't want to break down fears that challenge things that they might not, that they find a bit difficult to look at, or goes against things that they view will make them a bad person if they're to be flexible on that, even though that is not what it does. Acceptance isn't agreement, but they don't want to go anywhere near that stuff. And that's why they stay stuck. Because it's discomfort. People love to browse social media just nice and comfortably. Go in a forum, nice little bit of reading, not too much hard work. Doing that back and forward. Just going in, doing a little bit of something comfortable, then maybe make a cup of tea, then read some other Insta posts, read Instagram in the morning and stuff like that when you're in bed. This kind of stuff, nice and comfy, right? This is not going to get you better. Forget this comfy crap. You have got to make change. To make change, you are going to have to put in the work. You are not going to get better by staying completely comfortable. It won't happen. Okay? Never happens. Because people think, if I'll be fine, just carrying on like I am, doing what I do, and that will be all right. Never happens. They're never going to be fine, comfortable. 90% of people with OCD that are on social media accounts is comfortable, just browsing, going through, nice and comfy, reading stories. Oh, they did that. They did that. Oh, okay. That sounds very scary. Nice to read that from the comfort of my home. Put a bit of Netflix on, go on a bit of social media, have a little chat with someone who's got OCD about things that they're doing, nice and comfy. Remember what I said at the beginning of when I said I was going to do this video today. I said it's going to have a humorous tone because I'm not saying this in complete seriousness. There are some serious facts, but we have to have a laugh at the same time at this scenario because everyone does it, okay? Everyone does it, and we understand why they do it, but if they don't take it seriously to make change, they stay exactly as they are, all right? So that's crucial. Now, that's the next part that happens. What other things happen? Oh, I've just seen a celebrity online who says that she's done this amazing energy healing thing, special guide, quick fix, endorsed by some special juice. Forget that crap too. That ain't going to get you better. No way. I've never seen a special juice and someone recover from OCD. I've never seen someone go on a yoga retreat and come back from OCD, recover from OCD. That's not to say that it doesn't have a benefit, being healthier diet, healthier doing things like yoga with mindfulness and so on. Very helpful as part of the journey, but you're not going to just go up into the hills, do a yoga course, drink some nice juices and come back completely better. That don't happen. Okay, that doesn't happen. All right. Other things that won't get better, that won't happen. You're not going to do an exposure, fix OCD, your fear's gone, you're now not scared, and then it's gone forever, right? That ain't going to happen. It's going to move. It's like an antibiotic. It's like a bacteria that's antibiotic resistant. It keeps looking for ways round it, yeah? So it's going to looking constantly for a way round this thing. Okay, the thing you're scared of. So it's going to look for new things, new fears, everything. It's going to keep doing that all the time, okay? So you've got to be aware that's what it's going to do, and it's going to take a bit of time. Other things that aren't going to work. Going through forums endlessly, looking for other recovery stories, just looking at those and going, okay, they're recovered, that person's recovered, that person's better, okay, I'm going to be better, that's fine. I'm just going to read a few of these posts, I'm going to read exactly what they did, and I'm going to get better. No, because OCD is different. Yes, you'll be able to gain from them, but you're not going to be able to do it the same as them because it's different for different people. Different fears, different situations, different things they're doing wrong, all that kind of stuff. So it's not going to just go like that. Okay, that's the next thing. Let's have a look whilst I'm sort of breaking down all the madness that we see in things. Let's have a look at other areas that we see. What other ones do we see? Juices we've done, diets, exercise. You can't out-exercise OCD. Okay, a great example of that is if you just look at any of the athletes with OCD. They're training 5 hours a day and they still have OCD. Because you can't outrun it. You'll feel a lot better. It'll be great for your life. You'll feel 10,000 times better. You're not going to be able to run away from it. You're not going to be able to just get away from it or get rid of so much cortisol. That's another thing you often hear. People say, oh, if you just exercise away all the cortisol, you'll feel better. Absolute rubbish. How can you exercise away the cortisol? The anxiety is fueling a cycle which is releasing cortisol. It's like if you've got a bucket with a hole in it and you keep filling it with water. Well, if you just keep filling it with water, is it going to maintain water? No, it's just the water's going to keep pouring out the bottom through the hole, but the water is going to look on the surface like it's balanced, okay? So we do these things, exercise, healthy eating, to keep ourselves feeling high energy and feeling good, but we're not going to be able to get rid of the OCD like that, because the OCD is the hole. Until we fix the hole, you're not going to be able to cure it. So you're going to be able to fix the hole in the sense, very bad analogy there, terrible analogy from my part, but I'm saying that hole, basically, if you can stop that water flow, then you'll feel better. In the meantime, we want to be eating healthy, training, doing all these things to keep ourselves fit and going along, so that we've got the energy to do things, but that is not going to solve the problem, okay? And let's just clear up, there's no OCD cures, there's only OCD recovery. So you can recover, but it's a maintenance, the same as if someone was an alcoholic and then they've got into sobriety, they're never going to be able to drink beers again comfortably, although some people will claim they can. Maybe in some rare instances these cases exist, but I don't think that is the case whatsoever. I think that those cases, usually where the person is claiming that they can drink, is because they haven't drank enough yet, or just gone over a certain point where they've really relapsed. I've seen and heard of people do it in the past that have been like, look, I've been sober for 20 years, I can have the odd beer now and again, but if you watch them, once they've had a couple more, maybe one other drink, it quickly goes back down the cycle because those paths are still there. Other things that I wanted to bring attention to in relation to OCD, stuff that doesn't work that people do. Let me have a think. Other stuff. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. You can realise that I don't plan out all these Instagram lives. I do them just live and go along with them and see what things that I want to cover of that day. But sometimes I get a bit lost, like now, because I've covered the points and I've forgotten the other ones that I wanted to mention. Other things that you've got to watch out for is anything that this is a thing that people do with OCD, because it goes away for a while and they don't suffer. They think, I'm fixed now, I'm never going to suffer again, right? So then they want to run away from OCD. They want to escape it. They want to not have anything to do with it. People do that. They start getting better with me and then they're like, Rob, see, I'm going on holiday, I'll see you and then they're gone. And then they come back in 6 months, Rob, I'm really bad way at the moment. What the hell's happened? Because they've tried to run from it. Yeah, so that's a problem. You can't run from it. It's like with my job, doing what I do. I'm around OCD, every thought, every fear all day long, but I don't care about them because they don't hold a grip on me. But originally I wanted to get away, run, and you see all the time, someone's in the WhatsApp group doing great, having a great time with OCD community, meeting people, doing really well, and so much better than they were, and then they get triggered. Oh my God, quick, I've got to get out of this WhatsApp group. Out of the WhatsApp group, and then they say to me, Rob, I want to leave this group. I said, well, why don't you leave it tomorrow and have a think about it overnight? No, I need to leave right now. Okay, right, you want to leave right now. Why? I've got to get away now. Why? Because I'm anxious, because I don't want my OCD to come back, and I know that I just need to get away and not think about OCD, then I'll be better forever. If I just don't think about OCD ever again, I know I'll be better. And I said, well, that plan is one that most people have thought of, that plan. That is not something that you have just created just now. Okay? So that's what people then do with that one. And then other things, if I just go on holiday and I go for a lovely break, I'll be able to forget about my OCD completely, because I'll go there, I'll have a few drinks, I'll go to the beach, I will completely forget about it. I know what I need to get away. You can't do that. You can't get away from it because it's in your head. Because it's in your head, it comes with you on the holiday. So that's not going to happen either. What other ones do people do in relation to that? I'm trying to think. Shopping things, that's seen a lot. People think, I just need to spend more time on myself, massage, Pilates, these things, buying new clothes, just really change a lot of my life. If I change that and become more of the person who I want to be, or if I go and work out harder than ever. That's what I used to do. I used to go to the gym and work out harder than ever to say, right, I'm going to become so strong and so fit that it's never going to have any chance against me because it's some kind of weakness. All complete nonsense things that we used to believe. That's another thing that people do. So you've got a good mixture there of things that we do, thinking to get away with. Yes, acupuncture, Chinese medicine. I mean, if you go into a Chinese medicine place, say, got anxiety, they'll say, you need this, right? Of course, people are going to say it, but it's not tried and tested methods. We've all tried millions of these things. Don't work. I used to have massage twice a week, physio twice a week, gym 5 times a week, every food and juice and all of that stuff. But you still hear about it. You hear about it online all the time. People claiming some juice saved their OCD. If juice got people better from OCD, you wouldn't hear anything on this account about unconditional self and life acceptance. We would only be talking about juices, and we would be saying which are the best juices and what juices to take and how to make them and all these kinds of things. If that got people better, of course, but it doesn't. Juice doesn't get better. It might taste nice, it might make you feel better, but it makes you feel from the sugar a little bit better, those kind of things. But it's not, juice is not going to get you better. But you see it. You go on YouTube, you'll see someone claiming, since I've juiced, it's changed my whole life. Vegan as well. Since I've gone vegan, my whole life's changed. OCD's gone. I'm not saying anything against vegan. I'm not saying it's got hasn't got great health benefits, but you ain't going to recover from OCD by going vegan. And I'll probably get some messages from people saying, Rob, I went vegan. It really reduced my anxiety. An anxiety disorder like OCD is not going to turn down because you've become vegan. If you have got false memory, real event, OCD that's locked on, it doesn't matter what you eat. It doesn't matter where you go on holiday. It doesn't matter how hard you're exercising. None of that matters. Right? I have to highlight it because there are so many people talking about that stuff these days. And if I don't, it always happens. And then these are the subjects that are common, the ones that we know. These aren't the subjects which are like things that you think are even more crazy that I get messaged about all the time. Like, hey, Rob, I really want to recover from OCD. I've decided to go to this witch doctor who doesn't live that far away. I think if I get this energy thing done by him, or if I go to this person who can make me forget my memories or something like that, then I'll be all right. No way. No, nothing to do with energy. Hypnosis, trying to forget thoughts, trying to get rid of thoughts forever. I'll go to a hypnotist that makes me forget something. Forget that. Forget that. That's not going to do it. You can't forget thoughts. One of the first things I thought of, I'll go to a hypnotist and then I'll do that. Now, in relation to that vegan thing, that relates to meat things. You'll hear like Jordan Peterson's daughter saying, I went on this all meat diet and that solved all my depression and anxieties and everything. All meat diet is not a good idea. You don't want to be doing any of these things. You've just seen what's happened to James Blunt since doing an extreme diet like this. So be very careful with this stuff you're reading. People feel good from something in their life. Like somebody could take up knitting this afternoon and feel great from it and then release a book saying, I cured my anxiety through knitting. That doesn't mean the knitting cured their anxiety. It meant they had anxiety. They happened to feel good from the knitting for some reason relating to their problems or whatever, however related. It is not an indication that knitting cures anxiety. Okay. So yeah, those were some of the things that I wanted to talk about because these are things that we see all the time. I get messages like this all the time from things. And then from the religion side of things, without going into religion at all here, I get tons of messages from people saying, hey, Rob, I've decided I'm going to get this demon cast out of me because I know that's what's behind so much of my OCD. Hey, Rob, I am... what other ones do we get on there? Yeah, loads of religion-based ones. I'm going to confess it away. I've met this priest who's really good with this and can help me with that. yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff you can obviously you can see the person believes this 100%, and in their community they believe it. So it's obviously very sad, and that they're so lost like that, and that's understandable. But in the cases of where we're just reading these things in the media, and we're reading these things online, that there's these absolutely wacky ideas for OCD, for anxiety relief, we have to be so careful of, because people are desperate to get better, and they start thinking of it. It's like when CBD oil became popular, people are saying, oh right, I've got to do this. All right, yes, some of these things can help take the edge off, but they're not going to cure. But then people think, I've got to have that, and I've got to try this. And I've been on the forum, and this guy says he takes this and he does that. And then I went on Joe Rogan, and then Joe Rogan said that if you take this and then you take this other thing that's found in the rainforest, you'll get better. Forget this crap, okay? This is not the way to go, okay? But this is what happens. You see it all the time. You see it all the time. All the time. And people are completely misinformed and go doing this, especially now with you see this with people trying to change their perspectives on life without anxiety disorders. People are turning to very strong drugs, recreational drugs. That we don't condone use of any recreational drugs, but I'm saying that they turn to very strong recreational drugs and just going and taking them because they've seen it on a podcast or something like that, and having really very, very bad experiences. One of the admins that I worked with towards recovery came into me for OCD coaching, talks regularly to me about the dangers with that, about hearing of people that are going and trying very strong recreational drugs for anxiety relief and having terrible time and really strong physical symptoms. You see it all the time, but it just doesn't get spoken about. People just go and buy something online and go and take it expecting some massive change, and it's very dangerous. So you've got to be very careful with all of that kind of stuff. I think that's covered my rant on these ridiculous things that happen in the OCD recovery journey. So I hope you've enjoyed and taken some of the facts from that, because they are key. They are key to recovery. I might say in a joking way, but these are true. These are the things that hinder people and keep them held back. So yeah, definitely take some of those points on board. And for any of you who are doing the reading list, please get the reading list finished. Don't just leave the reading list. Let's get the reading list finished. Some books, if you don't understand them, you have to read them again. But don't skim them, and don't just try and find an easier, more fun book. Okay, you've got to just read them. You've got to do them, and that's the first part of the journey. So yeah, please do that. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next Instagram Live.